Oh my god, that's very, 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 very low. Holy shamoly. Alright guys, we're getting back into a C10 here. Last time I dropped the rear suspension. I used a CPP kit. I ordered a 3-5 drop kit, so 3 in the front, 5 in the back. I think I screwed up and I've made the rear too low, so we're going to address that in a second. But essentially, and if you haven't seen the last video, we did new coil springs, a new track bar, and shock relocation kit. Dropped the back of the truck, bam, 5 inches down in the back. I think it's a little low, and I'll tell you why in a second. So up here in the front, I ordered this CPP kit, and I've got the catalog here. I ordered the 3-5 drop basic kit here. This is what I ordered, and it comes with 2-inch drop coils, and then it had 1-inch drop spindles from CPP. Well, CPP stuff's all made in China, and I screwed up. You saw this in the catalog as 63 to 70. Where does it say here? And I ended up having, 71, 72 disc brakes and stuff like that. I ordered the kit with the brakes, and long story short, I think I screwed it up. So I bought new spindles to change. These are 71, 72 spindles, and they're McGaughy's, or however you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure these are made in America. I think these are, I ran the number, I think these are 2.5-inch drop spindles. They're really beefy, they're forged, and I'm pretty sure they're made in America, not China. But so we're going to use those, a combination with the coils. So we're going to do 2-inch coils, 2.5-inch spindles. So we're going to get and then I'm going to reuse the stock brakes on the truck because those will accept the stock disc brakes. This truck chassis had already been restored, so it's got new rotors, which are just surface rusted, but new rotors and calipers and stuff. So all the brakes will bolt back on. The CPP kit, I had bought separate brakes, which I'll sell at a swap meet. So we're going to use most of the kit, but I'm going to swap in these spindles for their CPP spindles. So we'll use CPP springs and shocks. You can see the stuff I took out of the rear on the last video. So the reason I'm changing things up, I say it might be too low in the back, is I'm trying to replicate the look of my dad's truck, and this is in the 80s, so he lowered his truck 4 inches, it says here, and I'm not sure how he did it because I don't think there was kits available back then. So he might just cut the coils, or maybe they sold coils, I have no idea. But you can see it is lowered. Here is the truck's stock height. This is 1980, and he's got 60 series tires on it, so the tires are short. And that's why the wheel wells are so large over the tires, because it's got stock height suspension with short profile tires on it, and these are bias plies. But then this is 1983, he's got radials on it, but you see the radials are pretty tall. So I bet these are like 235, 75, 15s on the back, and the front tires look a little bit shorter. He might have had like a 235, 70 on the front, something like that. But as you can see in these pictures, the truck is lowered, but it does have a forward rake on it, and the rear is still fairly tall. You see there's a little bit of daylight over the tire to the wheel well, and that's the look I want to replicate, the 80s look of the hot rod rake, but lowered. And I think this kit, I've gone too far. The truck is going to sit probably level, and I don't care if the front sits just a touch lower than he had. It'd be cool if the whole truck was like maybe an inch lower, just because it's modern day times. It looks even better to be like just a little bit lower, but I got to have it raked forward. I can't have it level or low in the back. So I looked in the catalog here. Luckily, they offer a whole bunch of different springs. So right now I've got these 60-35 5-inch drop springs in the back, but they do make a 60-34 HD spring, and since I'm going to use this truck as a daily driver and be able to haul stuff with it, and I'll probably have a trailer hitch on it, I think I want to change out the 5-inch rear springs for the 4-inch heavy-duty drop springs. We'll put the front end in it right now in this video, and we'll see how it sits. But it has quite a bit of rearwards rake on it right now. It's down there a ways, and I think I went too far. So we'll see how it shakes out, but I'm almost positive I'm going to swap out these 5-inch springs for 4-inch springs just to pick it up a little bit. I'd rather have it a touch too high in the back than too low. It's going to ruin the whole look of what I'm trying to do with the truck. So anyways, that's what swap meets are for. When you screw up, you can resell the parts. So we're going to put all this stuff on right now. I wanted to wait till I put the engine in because I need the weight of the engine to compress the coil springs. So the first thing I do is I'm going to demo off the sway bar, and the way you take the suspension apart, if it's like a Camaro suspension I've done before, is I can use the weight of the vehicle to separate the ball joint on the spindle here, jack up under the one side at a time, compress the suspension, undo the ball joint, then let the suspension down and get the coil spring out, because I don't have a coil spring compressor, but I think we can use the weight of the vehicle to do that. And being that these springs are 2-inch springs, they should go in it a lot easier. I don't know. How many coils are there? These kind of look the same as those, but it says right on the box 2-inch drop coil springs. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm a little concerned here. This truck sat for years without the engine in it, and you can see the engine's in it now, but the suspension is still kind of maxed out. And I don't know what the deal was with this truck before I bought it. The chassis, the chassis, I don't know what they were doing, but hopefully those aren't like big block springs, because it seems to sit awful stiff, and I've got the full weight of the small block and stuff in here. And you try to, maybe it'll go down. I'm just hoping I can get it apart without getting killed. That's my main goal here. So I got the wheels off here. The first thing I want to do is get rid of the shocks and the sway bar, just because they'll be in the way. And somebody used stainless steel bolts to bolt the sway bar on anyways, and they're not strong enough for, they should be grade 8 bolts, so we're going to, holy moly, we're going to get rid of these guys and replace them with grade 8, but I got to get them off first. That's freaking on there. Then we'll take the shocks off. Holy cow! Oh boy, that was tight. When I got this chassis, somebody had already restored it. It's got all brand new brakes and ball joints, but it's got, looks like GM rotors, and it's got riveted pads, which is awesome. Oops. And I'll get a little bit of stainless steel hardware out of the mix here, which would be nice. But I'm gonna drop this thing right out of the way, just so we got room to work. We'll put it back on afterwards, obviously, because you need your sway bar action. Oops. Come on. All kinds of stainless steel hardware. Nice. You can buy anything you want for these trucks. I'm sure they sell sway bars and everything. That's under a little bit of tension because of the other side. Let me unbolt the other side. But yeah, these rotors say GM4 on them, or GM14 or whatever the heck. Maybe they say GM, I don't know. They look like they're new, but who knows? I did bleed all the, now I got anti-seize all over me. I bled all the brakes and everything, but it's got brand new pads, hoses, like I said, ball joints, tie rod ends. We'll knock this loose. Hopefully it comes right back apart. I don't know when it was put together, but it looks like the idler arm's been replaced. The whole front end's new. Looks like new cross shafts in here. It's awesome. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Everybody's free. Oh, the whole thing's free now. There it goes. Boom. Get that guy out of the way. Brand new shocks on it as well. Oh boy. Nice. Oh man, oh my god, they tighten that up like crazy. Oh, wow. That's tight. Not anymore, it's not. Not anymore, it's not. Okay. Boom. Look at that. Bam. All right. That guy up on there. We'll reuse the on the front here. In the back they relocated the shocks, but this comes with drop shocks for the front, so we'll reuse the stock shock mounts on the front of the truck. We demo the shock off the other side, then we're going to come up here. We're going to take the two bolts out of the caliper. I'm going to hang the caliper off to the side, and then I'm going to get a big hammer and I'm going to whack the upright, knock this off, poop, get the tie rod end out, and then since this all went together, I should be able to knock this. But before we do that, we'll put the jack under the control arm and try to compress the spring, take the load off it, or well, compress it, put the load on the jack. Then when you take this upper ball joint apart, we can flip the upper control arm out of the way, and then spin the spindle out of the way, and then let the control arm down, and the spring should hopefully extend all the way where it relaxes. I'm going to put a chain through it and chain it to the control arm. That way it just can't get away from me. If it springs, it'll be constrained and stay, you know, it can sprung, but it won't go flying. It'll stay in there. So I'm a little nervous. I don't like doing springs and stuff. You gotta be careful. You can get hurt. All right, I got the brakes demoed off. Wasn't a big deal there. Just taking the cotter keys off and taking the nuts off and stuff. So now we're gonna take the tie rods off. And when I got this chassis, the tie rods were unbolted and I bolted them on. And I don't know why they were unbolted. It made it really hard to steer, but they were loose. Or maybe they were loose, they weren't bolted down, I can't remember. But I had tightened them down. And no, they were loose. Anyways, they're off for whatever reason, but now they're on. So now we're going to take this big hammer. We're just going to strike this right here, and it should release pretty easy. Oops, you guys are in the way here. Come over here and watch from over here. Oh boy. I'll pull up on it a little bit. There we go. Got that guy. Same thing over here. I don't want to hit my hand, but oops. Try to hit straight on so you don't damage it. I can't hit and hold at the same time without killing myself. Nope. Come on. There we go. Got to hit her a little harder. So now, this is the fun part. We're going to undo the upper ball joint. We're going to do one side at a time. I'm going to put a chain through the spring, come over here in the light. We'll watch it over here. So let me put these nuts back on my tie rod ends. This way, bashing it, you don't destroy the tie rod end boot and all that stuff like you would if you had a pickle fork. You know, you would tear all the boots up. So I took the cotter keys out of the top. I got a chain here. It's 5/16 chain or 1/4 inch chain. This is just to keep us from dying. So just to slow it down so you got a chance to call the ambulance before you bleed out. Come on, man. So we'll come around here. I got a couple of bolts. Just put a bolt through the chain. Actually, let's go around the back. It's Memorial Day. We don't want to go to the hospital on Memorial Day with all the people that blew themselves up with fireworks or whatever else they did. We're going to go ahead and chain this up so we have a chance at surviving. And probably should leave myself a little bit of slop so that it's Memorial Day. We don't want to go to the hospital on Memorial Day with a blown up coil spring. So we'll just chain this up. I'm just going to leave it a little bit loose so it's got room to maneuver. But this will at least slow it down. If there's a huge catastrophe, the spring can't go flying 100 feet away. It would have to break the chain, or break the bolts and break the chain, or it'll slow it down. A little bit of slowing the carnage is better than straight up carnage. All right, so now get my floor jack. And hopefully we can get under the control arm. That's where I needed to have the engine in to do this. Oops, we're hitting the tie rod end. See, now we can... Ooh, that's not good. These springs are pretty stiff. Pretty stiff. How are we going to do this? Because it's already picking the truck up. How far is it coming off? That's why I think these are like big block springs. Let me think what we're going to do here. We can chain the truck to the floor jack so the truck can't get away from the floor jack. You know, hold the frame down and then jack. That's a little more sketchy. What we're going to do is back the nut off and leave a couple threads on it so if it comes apart, it can't come all the way apart. This is super sketchy. Let me try chaining the jack to the frame that way, or actually use a ratchet strap maybe. So without getting killed, let's go ahead and bust this guy. Which way is off? I think it's that way. Oh, that's tightening. That's tightening. There we go. All right. Boom. I'm going to leave the nut on there a couple times. We're going to get the big hammer so we don't have to hit it that many times. And then we're going to whack the bejesus out of this. Ready? There we go, it just popped. Yes. Okay. So now, this is where it gets spicy. We're gonna let her down. I'm gonna get clear. We're gonna let her down and see what happens. Truck's gonna go down back onto the jack stand. I don't like this at all. It is really moving the I'm trying to get as far away from this as I can. I don't like this at all. Man, that spring sure seems like it's got a lot of tension on it still. At some point, you would think that it would want to come out of there. But it's still got tension on. We can only go down so far. Boy, that's coming out of there a long ways. I don't like it. No, sir, I don't. Did I screw myself with the chain? I'm going to kind of get clear. How tight is the chain right now? Oh, it's loose. Okay. I don't like this at all, but we're going to keep going with it. I'm kind of far away. Oh, scary. Okay, that's... I think... Here, let me get something to reach. I think that is free. I can't really tell, but it doesn't look like it's... Ooh, that is... The spring ain't tight, or the chain ain't tight. What is it? Is it... It is released out of the control arm, it looks like. I can't tell. I still don't like it. Oh. Well, there we go. See, that's not scary at all. Holy shamoly, that was scary. Whew. That's why we use the spring, or use the chain on the spring, like, you know, instead of falling out, if that thing was under crap tons of tension, it would come shooting out of the side of this thing and go wherever at a very high rate of speed. That's no good, bro. So, at least the chain would contain the action. These springs are freaking nuts. Like, I wonder if they were trying to set this truck up for a big block or whatever they're doing, because these springs are no joke. And, I don't know how on earth he would have got them in there and compressed it without a spring compressor. Which I don't have, but that spring is no joke, bro. Luckily for us, check it out. The 2-inch lower spring is going to be 2 inches less action to have to deal with here. So that's a spicy meatball. All right, we can clean the debris out of here. Wow, that was I might put a little grease in here actually. So that was fun. Let's pick this guy up. You see, here's a snubber. So they had done this what do you call it? This whole chassis, did the whole thing and made it nice. But wow, oops, that nut, that threaded. Let me find the spindle nut. I'm gonna put the spindle nut back on here so I don't bung up the threads. These 71, 72 spindles, even the stock ones. Guys want to upgrade their trucks to disc brakes. These have value because new, they're almost 300 bucks, I think, for dropped ones. I don't know what the factory ones cost, but these ought to be worth $100 to somebody that wants to put disc brakes on their 63 to 70 Chevy truck with factory parts. So I'll be selling these as well. Well, these guys should just, oh yeah. See, this is way easier. I'll be able to just like lay this right in here, pick this up close. Well, it's not going to take much to jack this back up, but we got to change our spindle first. Now, if the springs are junk, we won't have to go through all this. You could get a torch, and you could just torch the springs, heat them up, and they'd start to sag, and you could cut them with the torch, and they would just go bang, 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 and collapse. And then you could take the danger out of it there. You never, ever want to cut a live spring, like with a cutoff wheel or nothing, because that will immediately come apart and kill you. But, you know, the torch, you can get away from it. You can heat it up. It goes, they sag down, and then they let go. But luckily, we didn't have to deal with that. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. We didn't die. Now, we'll get the lower nut off of this guy. We'll knock this guy off. And where's my other hammer? Alright, I got the spindle off, and I've got the McGaughy one up here next to it, or however you pronounce it. And you can clearly see it's dropped 2.5 inches. This, spindle is down here on this one. Everything else looks the same, and it hooks up to the stock brake caliper in the whole 9 yards. It just moved the spindle up into the thing. So we're going to go ahead and bolt this guy on here. Now these go together dry, and let's see. Oh, it doesn't come with a spindle nut. Nuts. I'm going to put let's get a plastic cap on it for now so it won't get bunged up. I guess it'll be alright. I'm going to put this guy on. We're just going to snug it up real easy. Got the impact. I had to get this off with a universal, which you can't do a whole lot of torquing on. So that's almost lined up where it's got to be. Get one more little ugga-dug. Okay, that's good there. So that mounts that guy up. Let's make sure we got the right side one. We do. Passenger side. So now we'll take the spring, and this guy is going to lay right in here. Like that. It cages into the lower control arm. And as you can see, I'm going to have to set this up on the jack ahead of time. I don't think we'll need the strap because it's so short, but we'll go ahead and do it anyways, and we should probably loop the chain through it once I get it up here and get it caught. Yeah. So make sure I don't pinch my brake hose. Flip this guy up out of the way for a second. Yeah, I'll be all right. Let me maybe we can just kind of start it by hand. I don't know. Okay, this guy's got to come out here. Just kind of hold it. I need like 3 hands here. Okay, that'll just hold that. I'm not sure. I got to get a light and see. We're almost going to be able to bolt this right together without squeezing it. Let me go look at the other side. So the paint, I guess that's good. How? You know what? I think I'm going to be able to put the nut on this right now. Looks like I'll be able to do that, or get it started anyways. Man, it ain't got to go far. Just let me... I don't think we need the chain because there's not much tension on it. Oh yeah, I can get the nut on this before it gets too carried away. Right there. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. We'll get that the rest of the way. I think, let's see. Okay, it's seating itself. Okay, there we go. Wow, that's way lower. That's, whew. I like that. The spring can't come out of there now. It's good to go. Where's my little hole for my cotter key? I'm gonna go just a touch more. Yeah, okay. We're good on this side. She's good now. That was a little scary, but let's get a dimension real fast because we're drooped on the suspension on both sides. What we got from spindle to ground, we got 17 inches roughly to the road. What do we got on this side? We got 14. So it dropped at 3, or I'm sorry, it raised at 3 inches already. Plus this truck wasn't settling at all, so this thing's gonna be right on the ground. So that's good there. We got that guy in. I'm gonna go and get the other side apart without dying. Swap the uprights out and reassemble the brakes and the rotors and put the tires back on it and set it down and see how far it came down. I bet it came down quite a bit. Alright, I got the driver's side all reassembled here with the brakes and the shock and everything, but I'll show you on the passenger side how it goes. I did have a little fitment issue. The cast knuckle was not quite ground here and it was pinching the inner brake pad and I couldn't get the brakes to turn, but now I got them to turn. They're well, they're pretty stiff because they're new. Man, that's turning like it's... The rotor's not straight. It's turning and then it gets clear. Anyways, I had to grind just a tiny little bit on the corner of the pad to get it to clear in here. We got her good now. So that side is on. Everything's all put together. I just don't have the cotter keys in it, and I'll show you over here how it goes together. One modification I had to make, I had to trim the bottom off the bottom of the dust shield here because it was hitting the lower control arm. So I took it and I just took like about an inch off the bottom of it to clear there, but the rest of it bolted on fine. And I've greased up where the caliper sits here with some axle grease and grease the outer bearing, and we're ready to go. Put some grease on the spindle. So let's assemble the brakes on this side and see how they fit. Ah, these rotors are heavy. Let's stab the rotor on here. Hoop. Boom. And oops, got some less grease. Got my little bit of extra grease front bearing. I'll put that in there. I got this red grease from Tractor Supply Company. It's like super sticky and oops, I need the washer. Forget the washer. It's super sticky and grabby. Boom. And like I said, I haven't cotter keyed anything yet. I'll cotter key it all. I noticed none of the ball joints or tie rod ends or anything have ever been greased, so I'm going to grease all those once we get this all back together. But I want to put it together, and I want to set it down because I'm real curious how it's going to look. Alright. Try not to get grease on everything. Put in our inner pad. Boom. Put in the outer pad. Boom. Now, this is the hard part. Oh, pinch my glove in there. Great. These this caliper's Super freaking tight. Oh, there we go. That went a lot easier than the other side. Must be I practiced on this one so I could get it to go. The other side was a nightmare. These pins already have NSCs on them, so they're okay. And I bet I didn't bring the ratchet. Oh, I did bring the ratchet over with the tool. Can I turn this wheel? Hoop. Oh yeah, there we go. Got the tool here. Just like the Ghostbusters, we got the tools and we got the talent. Man, this thing gets tight in a hurry. And it's unforgiving. It'll get you. All right, boom. How's it turn? It's a little stiff, but all the surface roughs will grind away. So there we go there. We got our brakes installed. I can't wait to set this thing down. I'll wait and I'll cotter key and... Oh, there's grease everywhere. I'll cotter key and do our thing on the end last. Let's go ahead and we're going to grease up our shock bolt and hit my head on the truck 50 times like I did on the other side. Put a little grease in my shock bolt, and up here on the shock shaft. There we go. So we'll get our shock. All right, we got our nitro drop shock here. Nitro drop. Go ahead and stick them on the upper mount, and then hold on, it's collapsing already and got me. I gotta get it in the lower mount, but it's... There we go. You know, it would help if the control arm was up a little bit. Let me get the jack over here and jack it up as the angle gets all dangled. Can I get the... Hoop! Get in there. The lower mount is just a little bit bent as the bolt squeezes it and it's tight. And if I can bend her out a little bit by... Just got to get the shock to get down in there a little bit more. Oh, dang it. Ouch. Hold on a minute. You're not done yet. Come back. Get in there. There we go. Take my bolt. Can't see nothing. It's got to come up. There we go. I'll put a nylock on the other side in a little while. Got him. Oh yeah, nylock action for the win. Boom, that's tight. All right, I've done all the cotter keys, and I started greasing the front end, but my grease gun ran out of grease because everything was dry and it was taking a bunch of grease, so I only got about half of it done. But I've put the wheels on. I jacked it up. Let's pull out the jack stands. Actually, I got to go up one more pump, I think. Pull out the jack stands, and we'll set her down and see what we got. Man, it looks like it's got to come down a long way. We'll see. Oh, boy. Here we go. It's time for the reveal. Are you ready? Are you ready? Whoa, easy, easy. Too fast. Oh my goodness gracious. Whoa! Whoa! That's way low. Why is it so low? Oh my god, that's very, 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 very low. Holy shamoly. Why on earth is it so low? That's 4.5 inches in front. Wow. And the steering is way out of whack. I can see that. It's towed way in. Holy shamoly. I was not expecting that whatsoever. How does it make it look with the back? Oh, it's... This is low. That's very low. Holy cow. It's definitely, I'm going to guess that it's lower than this by quite a bit. Geez, my dad said 4 inches. Well, he had huge gaps over there, then he didn't. But man, this seems... And I got tall tires on this. That seems like it went way down. I was not expecting it to go down that far. Holy cow. Now let's do a bounce test. Does it hit the snubbers? Not really. It doesn't really hit the snubbers, but man, that's down there. Have I gone too far? That's the question. It's about an inch before the bump stops. Man. I don't know, bro. The thing towed way in. Wow. That's low because I couldn't see over the roof at all. I can see right over the roof now. Holy shamoly. What have I done? What have I done? I didn't show you guys what I took right here. This part of the frame, it was 27 inches. And now it's at 20. 20 and a half. We'll call it 21 because some of it was probably due to the angle of the dangle. You tell me it went down 6 inches in the front? How did it go down 6? Oh boy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I gotta do some figuring and thinking. Well, I couldn't leave it alone. I got the core support and I got a fender so I could check the fender to tire clearance in the front. And I mean, it looks good with the 235/75s and stuff on here. This is a cool look. It's right on the ground and the truck has a rake, so it looks neat. It's just, like I said, it's like an inch lower in the front than it's supposed to be for my dad's truck. So look here. And we're going to play again with the shadows, but if I can get some shadows, you see it's a lot clearer in person than it is on the camera. But the tire to fender clearance, he's got about an inch over the tire, and there's maybe 2 inches over the tire in the back. I mean, it looks good sitting here. You can tell it's lowered, but it's not like on the ground. I mean, look how low the bumper is. The bumper is going to be way down here. Then the air dam would be like 2 inches off the ground. And my dad's air dam is not that low. It's maybe 4 inches off the ground. You can see there's quite a bit of room underneath it. And I'm a little nervous. Let's see. I mean, that's like a 6-inch tall air dam, and it's still got a couple inches to go. The front bumper is definitely higher off the ground. Here, it's hard to see in any of these pictures. And these pictures here's a stock height like 69. You can see his truck's a little bit lower with the tire to fender gap there compared to stock. That green truck is stock with a little bit shorter tire on it, but it is definitely not as low as this one. This one is right on the ground. and I'm a little worried about bottoming out and hitting the inner fender bolts on here. Comes around up here. I'm a little worried about scrubbing into the inner fender before you hit the bump stops, because I'm going to run this big tall tire on here and rubbing the inner fenders, which I don't want to have happen. So, I mean, it looks cool. Let's get back here and look. I mean, it looks cool, and you see all these trucks are laid out like this. Height-wise, but I just think it's too low. I think I need to go up in the back. If I raise the front up, I got to raise the back up too a little bit. I think I got to do a 1-inch drop spring in the front with the 2.5-inch spindles, and then do the 4-inch coils in the back. I think I got to change all the springs back to somewhat drop, but not this much drop, because I think it's just going to be too darn low. And I mean, the control arms are level. The control arms are where it's at, regardless of where it would ride, but I don't know. I think it's going to be too darn low here. I mean, this is like an updated look, I guess I could go with. Like, yeah, I got my dad's truck, or I cloned my dad's truck, but then I modernized it by lowering it a little bit more. But I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be this low, because it kind of defeats the purpose of cloning it if I'm going to change it that much. I think it looks too low, and it needs to come up a little bit. What do you guys think? Like, leave a comment down there. Tell me if I'm the lower, it's lower better because it's more modernized. But if I'm going for 80s look, this isn't not really an 80s look. This is, you know, more modern, lowered look, and it looks cool being on the ground. But I think it's gonna. I'm trying to set it apart. Well, clone what it was. What I'm trying to clone the truck that was back in the day, and back in the day the truck wasn't this low. And if I'm going for that look of the 80s, I think it's too low for the 80s, because you didn't see guys running around with these trucks slammed this much back then. Especially my dad's truck. His truck is, it's going to be too low in the front. If I get that 6-inch air dam, you know, the bumper's going to be here, and then that 6-inch air dam is going to be 2 inches off the ground, and it wasn't 2 inches off the ground, it was about 4 inches off the ground. So that's going to be kind of way too low. So anyways, that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to think about it, but I'm probably going to order another set of springs all the way around. Put the 4-inch heavy duties in the back and put 1-inch drops in the front here. So it'd be like 3.5-inch plus settle in the front. So about 4 in the front and 4 in the back. That would probably be about accurate to what my dad had. So I'm probably going to lean that route, but we'll see how it goes. And you'll see it because I'll be working on it here in the shop. But I got to go in. I got to go to work. It's Memorial Day. I got to go back to work tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. And we'll see you guys next time with a too low C10 at the Quick Speed Shop.